Hi everybody and welcome back to Diana's Place. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to break all the rules and indulge. We're going to have amazing hot cinnamon buns with a cream cheese frosting. You're going to die. They are so good. So let's get started. You and your family are going to absolutely love these cinnamon buns. They are really fast to make and they are amazing. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Super fast. You're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You want to be exact with these measurements because baking powder is the thing that's going to make them rise, so you want them just perfect. Now we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. That's it so far. So easy. Just mix that up. You can actually have these in the oven in about 10 minutes. Okay, that's it for that. Now we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. I'm going to pour it in this wonderful little measuring cup I've got that has the pre-measured little things in here, so it's perfect for liquids. You can see exactly the amount that you want to do. Do 1/3 of a cup of melted salted butter. And now we're going to add enough milk, and I use low fat. I don't use a skim, I just use low fat, just like it. I don't know why. And I'm going to fill that up to 1 cup exactly. This is the perfect measuring cup. You really need to get this. And we're just going to pour that in. There is no sugar added to this. Now, I'm not going to lie, these are not the most healthy thing. They're actually probably not healthy at all, but they're fun, and you've got to have some fun. So this is a really nice thing to have for breakfast on the weekend, or if you're just going to have some friends over for afternoon tea, just, oh my goodness, love these. We're just going to get that dough mixed together quickly. Okay. So if you have been watching me, you'll know my love affair with parchment paper. So today, of course, we're going to have parchment paper. I've already cut this to the size of the pan that I'm going to cook them on. So that's it, okay? We're just going to put a little extra flour on this parchment paper and roll the dough out. So you can see it still needs to be kind of pushed together. It's just a little crumbly. So I'm going to do that with my hands ever so quickly because this is quick, it's not fussy. So you can make cinnamon buns that have yeast, and that's more of, you know, the risen yeast dough, and they're wonderful. Trust me, they are really worth the effort. But these really, I have to tell you, I'm hard pressed not to make these instead because they're so quick. So you see that dough is almost together where there's not any dry flour in it, and it's just perfect. See that? Okay, so we're just gonna move the little lumps over, start with a little more fresh flour. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over so there's some flour on this side. I'm gonna roll them out. Now, this is not measured, it's not, you know, fussy and perfect. I'm going to make a rectangle. The thinner you roll it, the more spirals of cinnamon and sugar will be in it. So I do kind of on the thin side because it's yummy. It's a little stretchy, and that's just the typical nature of flour to do that. Okay, and I'm just going to square it off just using my hands, pressing the dough into a thin, even layer so that it cooks evenly. Here we go. So now we're going to make the topping that will go inside these and be rolled up. It's 1/4 cup of brown sugar packed and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm just going to stir that up. Now we're going to take butter. This is Plugra, which is a European butter. I love it. I always use this European butter. It has a nice rich texture and flavor. I use salted because I love salty sweet. I've got this soft, and I'm just gonna take my spatula and spread it out. You could use your fingers, doesn't matter. I wish you could see my little studio audience today. I have 3 cats. I have Sam, Sasha, and Scout, and they are literally right across there. They are watching me. I'm sure Sasha's gonna come over and get some butter because she loves butter, so you'll have to stay tuned and see if that happens. So I'm pushing this right out to the edge. Don't stop, because you're gonna be cutting those rolls right to the edge and using them. This is a lot of butter. You might wanna go for a run or plan for these because, you know, they're a treat. I've got my oven preheated to 450, so you wanna get that going. It takes a little bit to get that heated up, so make sure you plan ahead and get it all set. Because we've done so many good things during the week, we can break the rules. Gotta break the rules. Got to. So here we go. Nice thick layer of this cinnamon sugar. These are right up there with my favorite brownies. I'm serious. You're going to be famous if you make these. They are so good. If you haven't seen that show, you need to watch it. Best ever brownies. Best title too, because it's true. They are. Okay, so I'm going to push that right to the edge. Okay, so I just washed off my hands because they were pretty messy with all of this cinnamon and sugar, and I want, when I roll them up, for the outside to be nice and clean. So we're going to just take from the long side and roll it towards yourself in a tight little roll. I've taught children how to make these, and they make them for their families now all the time. They're such fun, really good recipe for children to make. So I'm going to pinch that together so I seal it up so that it doesn't pop open. So just with your fingers, you're just going to pinch it. Okay, I'm going to roll that over, push the edges in, and this is going to go directly into the oven. So I'm going to just cut them and leave them right on here. So I've got this cookie sheet the same size as the parchment. I'm going to slide it right underneath, and now I'm going to cut these. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these up into just maybe a generous 1-inch slice. As I said, you can easily double this recipe if you've got a big family or big crowd coming over. And now we're just going to put the pretty cut side up. I'm just going to put these in a row. I've made 11. If you want to make them a little thinner, you can, or a little thicker. I make them so they're just going to touch a little bit, and I'm pushing them down like that. Just push them a little closer together. And that'll give the edge a little soft edge, a little crispy and a little soft. I love the combination of that. Okay, so there you go. They're going in the oven for 12 to 14 minutes. I always like to go on the lower side because you can always add, but you can't take away that time. So 12 minutes at 450 degrees. Okay, so our cinnamon buns are in the oven. They have about 5 minutes left, and I'm gonna whip together the cream cheese icing. Now this cream cheese butter icing is to die for, and even if you're not a fan of cream cheese, please promise me you'll make it. Do not leave the cream cheese out. I have friends that have said they don't like cream cheese icing, and I can promise you I've completely converted them. They love it. So we're gonna get this ready because you wanna put it on the buns when they come out when they're warm. Not hot, but warm, so it gets that melty, oh my goodness, quality. You're gonna love them. Okay, so this is so easy. 1/4 of a cup of original cream cheese. We're not doing low fat. And 1/4 of a cup of salted European butter. Yum. So in the bowl it goes. It's at room temperature, so it's going to whip up very quick. All right. Okay, and we have 1 cup of sifted icing sugar, or in the United States we call it confectioner sugar. As you all know, I'm Canadian, so I call it icing sugar. Same thing. It's almost blended. I'm going to stop it and add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And here's how I measure it. Perfect. This whips up really fast. Put it on the highest setting. Make it fluffy. Perfect. So we're just going to wait for the cinnamon buns to come out. We have 2.5 minutes left. So the timer's just gone off, and I'm going to check on them. They look really good. I'm going to look at the bottom of them to make sure they're nice and golden. I'm going to take one from the center. Oh man, these are perfect. I did put them back in for 1 minute. So these had exactly 13 minutes in my oven at 450 degrees. They're really hot, and we're going to let them cool, and then we're going to slather that icing on them. So if you happen to overcook these and they're a little too dark, don't worry, they're going to be amazing. They'll just have a little bit more of a scone texture. I like to have them just lightly golden like you see them now, because then they're really moist, but you won't mess them up. So don't panic if they're a little too dark. So I moved these to a cooling rack, and they've been cooling for 5 minutes out of the oven. They're just perfect, nice and warm. We're going to put this cream cheese icing on, and I'll show you how much. Oh my goodness, I told you this is not healthy, but it is so good. Look at that, perfect. And it'll melt right into the edges. This one broke a little bit, so I'm just gonna mend it with this nice pile of icing. It's the perfect amount of icing for the number of cinnamon buns that this recipe makes. So if you want to double it, just double everything, the icing and the dough. So there you go. Literally in a matter of minutes, you can pop these in the oven, pull them out, ice them, and have them with coffee. Oh my goodness, you're gonna love them, so please make them. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I know you're gonna love these, and I hope you'll try them. If you've enjoyed the program, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave any comments. I'll be happy to get back to you, and I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, everybody. So I have this kitty cat. You've heard about her. Her name is Sasha, and she loves butter. It's crazy. So I'm going to call her and see if she comes. Hey, Sasha. Sasha, do you want some butter? Here she comes. You want some butter? Oh, look, Sasha. Do you want some butter? Come here. Oh, my goodness. You're the cutest. That's a girl. Butter. Oh, so good. Isn't that the cutest thing you ever saw?